Right, not having any of that. This is rigged. Rigged. Streamlabs, get out of here. Good battle, boys and girls. Good battle. Good morning, good morning. Oh, it's pretty dark in here, isn't it? Flashbang. Flashbang. Funny way to win is to not play. It's quick, somebody get Streamlabs, yeah. Right. Finishing Brewfest today. We're doing it. I think, maybe, possibly. We'll see. I was in 3 mines this morning. Do we play WoW? Do we play Megabonk? Do we play Borderlands 4? Choice has got the better of me, though, so we're going to start at the very least with some WoW until I get some coffee in me. A nice game of chess. I probably have not played chess for 20 years. I got taught it by my granddad as a kid. Now I'm going to assume he taught me the right rules, but I wouldn't know. Chess has never been my thing, though. Right, got some coffee on the cook. I think I need some slightly more upbeat tunes this morning. I'm kind of low energy at the moment. I'm just tired. Well, I think puppy business is getting the better of me overall. The wife has been very busy at work recently. With her being very busy at work means I've had 3 puppies by myself, solo. I shouldn't complain because, you know, anybody out there with kids is just laughing at me right now. But, like, it's outside of my normal routine. Anything that's outside your normal routine takes twice as much energy as it should do. But let's have a little bit of a looky what we got going on here. We need to do the Brewfest boss. We need to farm up Brewfest tokeny doodahs. And we need to figure out an easy way to get them all to the main dude to buy a bunch of stuff. And technically, they don't all need to be collated onto one character, but it would make the process of buying everything much easier. But with five different accounts all getting flipping Brewfest tokens, it's nice that they're warbound. It does mean I have to somehow put them all in the warbank, which is not a process I'd really thought about. Need to go back to the intro screen. I was winning. Sorry. Maybe I'll put, not that I do AFK screens for all that long. I AFK for as long as it takes me to go to the bathroom, but maybe I can put Intro Wars. It's literally called Intro Wars, that little bit of software as well, by the way, which is quite funny. Custom designed for starting soon screens. Went full bold yesterday. The wind feels weird on my head. Girlfriend got a bit of a shock when she saw me. I think it's the destiny of many men on this planet to eventually go full bold. If you play World of Warcraft, all the more so if you're a content creator, at least one that doesn't earn stupid enough money to fly to Turkey and back. Your destiny is to go bold. Should I just quickly do, let's maybe start, let's start by doing the farm on a bunch of characters, because if I remember right, we were sort of half hamstrung by the instance lockout, believe it or not. Whilst those guys log on, oh, do I need to do patron orders yet, still? I mean, I guess I can, and I guess I could, and I guess I should. I do need to do leatherworking, though, one's mind. Wow, they're big stinkies. They'd be nothing. Alright, sack those off. Look at Jeff Bezos, that dude has money, yet he's still bald, there's no cure for that. A toupee. I reckon he could rock a toupee. Oh, hello. Hello. Bloodstone orders. Marble stone. Bloodstone. Never lucky. Bloodstone. Oh, more marble stone. Wow. No profit in any of that though, mind. Right, down to the undermine. Alma's barking, my doggo's like, who be this? Now, we've been out on walks. She's had breakfast. She's done Zooms. And I thought getting up nice and early and dealing with the dog means that she'd already be chilling by the time the stream starts, but apparently not. Apparently not. Apparently we should be so lucky. Is today repost auctions day? I don't think it is it? I also vaguely remember from last week trying to kill rares on a Thursday was a flipping nightmare. But let's see how we do. Oh wait, hang on, my little add-on isn't doing add-on things. There we go. No! I was half a second too slow for swigs. Any rares up anywhere else? Typical. No. This is the good start we don't need. Let's do a... If there's nothing here, let's do Diabrew. Now, somebody told me yesterday, if I do my first of the day, I get 5 first of the day bonuses. So I wonder what the odds is that we cheese them out of doing it this way. Llamas, relax. Oh, Nips. Nips has got her stick. Sorry. No. Stop it. Nobody gets the stick if everybody's going to be crazy. Wait, why have we not got insta queues? Hello? Roll check. Whoops. I was snoozing. Mechanica seems to be hovering around 30k gold over in NA. EU, Mechanica value, 35,000 gold. And that's based on sales data. That's the average sale price of a Mechanica. Not listing price, not realm price, not market price, none of these fake values, but actual sales data.
What's on your mind? Be good.
Right. Do we get 5 first of the day bonuses? What do we think? Everybody gets the bag anyway, either way, but... Oh, I got mugged off. Oh, flipping hell. I need my pets to do significant damage while I'm getting mugged off. There we go. Cake-shaped treasure chest. Library remote. Not today. Not today. Mount evades me. Got the mount today on the 3rd tune in a 5-man party. Yeah, well, I've just apparently had 5 goes. Nope. Not today. Right. You need to get me coffee, though. Puppy. Puppy. How many NA accounts do I have? One. One that is not actually active right now. Hasn't been active for a good few months at this point. It was active to get the... It was last activated in order to get the long boy over there. That's the last thing I did with it. My expansion has been very time consuming, even on an EU basis. So much so that I've not felt the need to expand across seas. Literally not a rare in sight. Well, not a rare in sight, then I guess we don't hang about. Could probably do a sniper scan, mind, but we'll do auction out stuff later. Won't expand back to the EU until midnight, and then maybe not even then. Yeah, I mean there's already plenty enough to do in one region, in my opinion. I don't feel I'm fully set up across the EU. Never mind trying to go across the pond as well. A tally is up here apparently. I need to go do the world boss in the Undermine apparently as well. Still a few mogs I need from it. We only get one shot a week at that, so those are going to be mogs that are never going to be acquired if I don't do something about it. I wonder if that's something else that can be cheesed by a group of 5, I don't know. No rares again. No rares. Well, in that case, we do Diabrew. Do it. What are all of these? Oh, Blackrock Depths.
Talk to me. How are you? Off with you.
Can I get him? I was wondering if I could get... If you hide behind the mole thing, does this not hit you, I wonder? Have I gone 20 years of killing this dude and not figured out the mechanics of it yet? If I just stand behind here, am I safe? Being mugged off? No. Still get mugged off.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
One thing I was also going to think about doing today, actually, was starting to fill the gaps in these guys' gear. Somewhat incentivized by Mr. Kachak to get them all ready to level up to 90 eventually. But, flipping hell, hold the phone. Mr. Derpalicious with the 52. My man, thank you very much. I appreciate that one. Woo! That's a big number. Thank you very much, my man. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, fill in the gaps. I mean, the only things that these guys have got equipped for the most part is random bits and pieces they've picked up. Now, I know I've seen K-Chat crafting a bunch of gear, such as using the crests. Was it 30 crests a piece for a piece of gear? So I could craft 5 pieces of gear based on this. The alternative is, though, is I can just go to the auction house and buy some 642 gear to fill the gaps. If I'm going to buy materials to make crafted gear in the first place, it's like, and I don't need them geared. They just need something in every slot. 600 to 650 item level in total would be wonderful, but it's not that necessary. I've lost $5 for 52 months. I very much appreciate it, thank you. Don't know what student is feeding his viewers on Argent Dawn, but I just bought Glorious and Jade sets for literally pennies. Don't know. Clearing out an old bank somewhere. Spread them about, though. Do it. Spread them about. $400 gold for Jade boots. Not bad. I wonder if it'd be worth just buying 10 of a cheap piece of gear in every slot and putting it in the guild. Letting people, players... Well, I've got some plate wearers, I've got some mail wearers. I don't know what the play is here. I don't know what the play is. Because I do worry about putting public orders in and then not getting the orders filled. Although, they are all in a guild. Why don't I do guild orders and then fulfill all of the guild orders? Bring my main character. Oh, it's difficult because I'm a guild master. It's not easy for me to move. My leather worker, my blacksmith I could move into the guild to do guild orders for all of these. I just worry that if I put public orders in, there might not be even people playing on half of these realms to make the orders. I'm sure there will be though, won't there? Put the orders in for 48 hours. Do I? Here's a question I need to figure out. I use Bagnator. Now, Zygor has a really cool feature that unfortunately doesn't work with Bagnator, which simply highlights a piece of gear when it's an upgrade. I use it in Remix because you are constantly upgrading your gear and your bags are full of the damn stuff. Is there a simple add-on out there, and I'm really talking simple, that highlights gear upgrades in your bags and preferably works with Bagnator? Enhanced Bagnator with additional features powered by integrations with popular add-ons like All the Things, Can I Mog It? Porn is one, isn't it? Doesn't Porn have a upgrade detection? Junk detection is done by scrap. Upgrade detection. What are the options here? Porn does that. Not an add-on I apparently have. Why? Is my question. Why do I not have it? Okay, I'm going to assume Travis is the official one, so all of these are spin-offs or support for various things. I'm going to assume just the basic one is going to integrate nicely. And yeah, if it can do this, okay, install. Right, I need to add that to the add-on profile for all these dudes. Let's start by doing a reload, because there's a good chance it just loads by default anyway. And actually, if I'm doing this, let's do this properly. If I'm doing this, let's do this properly. Let's go back to the start and do... Wrong button. Let's go back to the start and do this properly. Wow, welcome to the world of squirrels this morning. Welcome to the world of Squirrelcraft. Gonna go back one dude, one team. Update their add-on profile. Right, there we go. That's in there. Dependency disabled. Requires all the things. Oh, okay. Undo that. Is there any other really lightweight add-on that I'm going to need to turn on these? I don't even have details switched on these, like secondary accounts, for example. But probably isn't going to be too long before WoW has a damage meter by default, so we can sack off details at that point. Journalator is vital. Leatrix Plus is vital. Oh, unironically, mass salvage assist becomes critical. Somebody, wait, hang on. People were saying the other day, mass salvage assist is doing silly things for people. Has there been an update to it? Is it fixed? Because I cannot even begin to tell you how useful this add-on is now. Even though I was very skeptical of it at the beginning, the reality is if you can't you can't beat them, join them. And there was no way you were doing thaumaturgy or prospecting or anything without this. It's fixed, yeah? Okay. Do I reckon plumber is lightweight enough that I can switch it on all of my... I really am trying to keep load time to an optimal. I can't think of anything particularly... I can't think of anything why I particularly want plumber, so maybe not. Rare tracker core, rare tracker the wall within. We'll switch that when we get a midnight version. Scrap is needed. Sexy map makes my map nice and big. Silver Dragon for scouting for the rares. Yeah, this is about the absolute bare minimum. $34 add-ons, okay. 2% CPU usage, 3%. Average CPU usage of 4%, apparently. Which is fine. Single digits we're all good with. 34 add-ons, export. $34. Yeah, there we go. No, I didn't actually check that this does what I want it to do before doing this, but whatever. Import, go, undermine alt, load. Bingo. Oh yeah, it's turning things like better fishing off. I don't really need better fishing on this. Profiles, undermine alt. No, import the string. Load it. Bingo. Bug stack should be another one I have on these accounts, actually. Shit. Is it called bug stack? What's the one that suppresses all of the flipping errors? I think it's called bug stack, isn't it? How are they the results for bug? No? Oh shit, what is it called? It'll be bug grabber, surely then. Oh. Bug sack. Not stack. There we go. Eases the process of viewing bugs. It displays Lua errors that occur during your play session. This add-on requires bug. Oh, flipping hell! Far too much like hard work. Right. Next question then is: can we now set up? Why does porn not show here? Oh, flipping hell! Please tell me it loaded properly. there. We had to put a cat down on Tuesday. Oh no. Yeah, that's never fun. That's never fun. This is the one thing that I am going to have to learn to regret the hard way, having multiple pets. You know, I've got a dog that's 13, a dog that's 8, and a brand new puppy. It's going to happen at some point, and I feel for you. Welcome in, Lady Daisy. Good morning. Why does pawn not seem to work? Where's it gone? Journalator, my slot. Why does it seem to not work? How do we... Where's it gone? It not do. It not doody do. I don't know what that button is on my keyboard. Not being stupid, am I? It's not here. Sides P. Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. E-binds. Sorry for being a Debbie Downer. No, don't worry about it, man. It's losing anybody or anything is tough. My aim is always to try and provide somewhere where people can sort of, you know, get away from that sort of stuff. If they want to. Chill out. Not think about IRL stresses too much. Open the character screen, you should see the pawn button at the bottom. Aha. There it is. Options. Show up plus upgrades on tooltips. Oh, okay, there we go, look. Doing it now. Maybe I just need to open it for the first time. That's exactly what I want. I want to be able to open my bags and go, ooh, that's a piece of gear that I should put on. That is exactly what I want. And then boom, hey presto. That is exactly what I want. Does that now mean then that, it's automatically detected it? Beautiful. Right, now the theory is that needs to do the same thing on every character. Now, that's not to say I'm actually going to have upgrades on all or any of these characters right now, but I want to make sure that it's tracking them all fine. Ah, you see? The irony. A 362 grey is actually technically an upgrade in terms of item level alone. How ridiculous is that? But the process works. Process works. I've had cats most of my life, but a few years ago I lost my Nemo. I was done. No more pets for me. Hurts too much. Yeah, I don't know how publicly I've spoken about this, but we lost a dog about 9 years ago, roughly. About a year before we got Nipsu. The reason we got Nipsu is because we lost another dog unexpectedly. That ruined me for about 3 months. It was slightly different in terms of the fact that it didn't pass on old age or anything. An accident that I still to this day feel that could have been avoided. I don't particularly blame myself for what happened because accidents do happen, but it was also quite a tragic event seeing it happen. But yes, I can understand when you lose a pet, when you lose a family, like it feels different when you lose a pet, because if you lose a family member, you kind of see it coming in most cases. Pets are one of those where you're not sure what you're going to expect until it happens. One-handed axe, whilst that is technically an upgrade, I'm not really that excited about but using a one-handed axe, considering we're in ret spec right now. This is maybe where pawn has some settings that could be adjusted. Show item level upgrades, ignore sockets on low level items. Showing suggestions for ret. Weights. Okay, I don't know how this all works. Maybe I'll just use it as a, oh, this is something I should equip kind of button. And then decide whether to or not. Yeah. It was expected he was old, but still, I don't. He was ancient. Oh well, he'd had a good shot at things then. Had a good shot at things. Okay. The other thing is that I'm probably going to need to move these dudes about to do this as well, aren't I? Ooh, I can use the macro. What's the macro for the... this one? Yoink. Because everybody has got their cape. We did that at the beginning of the patch. New wrap. Save. Oh, I've already got it here. Did I already have it over here as well? I don't want the same macro 15 times. I did already have it here. We can do that on every toon. Get it off the bars after, actually. Do you think alt armies will be a thing at midnight? Alt armies are a thing in every expansion. There is almost no reason... There is never a scenario where having more characters is a bad thing. It might not necessarily always be the biggest advantage, but having more characters is always useful in some way, shape, or form. Now, it's been a bit of a meta thing, this expansion, with concentration crafting. We do not know if that same meta is going to follow forward. And the reality is even if it does, it probably won't be as lucrative second time round. Nothing ever is. But like I said, yeah, there's always an advantage to having lots of characters. Always an advantage. What I need to do now is I need to figure out if each of these characters has probably got... okay, this dude's only got 90 weathered crests. So he's got room for 3 pieces of crafted gear. A helm, a neck, and a shoulders, I suppose we could do. Do I start by at least looking what's available on each individual realm, maybe? For upgrades that way. Do I set myself a budget of how much to spend on each of these characters to, like, at least give them some gear? Because I also got to bear in mind that by the time I do this 80 times, it adds up real fast. For example, even spending 10,000 gold on each character to get them a basic set of gear, by the time you multiply that by 80, that's nearly 1 million gold. Whereas if I can get a few pieces of 675 crafted gear on the cheap, still requires me to buy materials and do other sorts of silly things. The question is can I be bothered to do it 80 times? Where jumping on a longboy and buying some cheap stuff off the auction house would also do it. Skip gearing them, in my opinion. Well, they are going to want some ability to do something in the new expansion. I'm convinced of it. I want them at least to be viable to be taken into the new expansion. Really. Ajax only doing it for the treasures. What treasures are you talking about? What have I missed? I'm going to want them to have an easier time leveling up from 80 to 90 in Midnight, whatever the way of doing it becomes. But it would also be easier to gear up during Midnight's pre-patch period. Yes, I definitely agree with you. But I also know during Midnight's pre-patch period, I will not have time to do it. To put it very simply. There is absolutely no way I will have time to be gearing up 80 characters during a pre-patch event. Yes, I agree with you. There will probably be some catch-up gear that will allow you to do something simple and get a basic set of gear, but a process that could take half an hour per character, I just do not have the time for at that point. I do think the solution is just to simply cherry pick some cheap but basic stuff. Like this, for example, a few hundred gold, 600 item level helm. Job done. Neck. Necks are usually going to be an expensive option. So maybe I craft myself a neck. Maybe, possibly. Have one of them. Shoulders. The reason we have gold is to spend it, right? Making all of the gold, it allows you to spend some of it to give yourself an easier time. There we go, 603 shoulders. 421 chest piece could probably do with replacing. 600 item level chest piece. Weapons fine. Gloves. 140 gold. 691 legs. 85 gold. Boots are fine. Couple of rings. Rings is where it does get expensive. Unless we go for these. Spinner's circlet. We can only have one spinner's circlet, can't we? We can have a spinner's hoop to go alongside it, though. So that there. Is a handful of quick and easy upgrade options. And we only spent like a couple of thousand gold on doing that. And now we've got a character who's a bit of a mishmash, but is competent enough to do something somewhere if needed, which is kind of the way I want to go with it. I'm happy with that. And it's relatively quick and easy. Right. Helm is fine. Necklace is fine. Shoulders. Let's do upgrades only. What? You shitting me? How are these not tagged as upgrades? Okay, some realms are going to be more expensive than others, clearly. Chest. Oh, especially when I buy mail gear and not plate. What a donut. Plate shoulders. Plate chest piece. Ugh. Braces. Weapons fine. Boots. 150. That's the price we like. Do with a ring and a trinket, preferably. Trinket, we can see if there's any rings. Ouch. 1,000 gold for malleable band. Better than nothing. Trinkets. Trinkets are not going to be so easy to come by, are they? But trinkets we should get from this Brewfest event. We're lucky. Even a Dark Moon deck is an easy win. There we go. You have a lot of undercoins and have the Delves journey at a specific level. Buy the Warbound gear. I probably don't have that many undercoins, and my Warbound journey is not finished yet. I'm certainly not going to have enough to consider doing 80 characters worth of gearing. The reality is any of these kind of convenient shortcuts for an alt or two just will not apply because I'm trying to do this for 80 characters. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to refer to the auction house for cheap stuff first. If the realm that I end up trying to buy shit from is just ludicrously expensive, which might happen a fair few times, or I end up with gaps, then I can fall back potentially on Weathered Crests and get a couple of cheap pieces of gear crafted. But if I can get the tunes above 600 item level without moving by spending a few thousand gold a piece, I'm kind of happy with that, honestly. Because like I said, the only thing they need to do is to be able to not fall over and die when trying to kill a mob. And this feels like the quickest way to do it. Although this is a realm where necklaces isn't really an option. Chest. Like I said, some realms, it might be cost prohibitive to do this. This is already kind of feeling like it might be one where it's a bit of a problem. I don't really want to spend 1,000 gold plus on anything. Nightfall, Shadowstalker's Greaves. 1,500 gold for a 642 item. That's interesting. Boots. On trinket. Resting greens will upgrade anything, so why waste the gold? And you have 100 hunters, so no gear is actually needed. Yeah, but you kind of forget that a lot of them are level 80 and don't even have half a set of gear yet. This means then even killing single mobs to do single quests with is not as straightforward as it sounds. This is not gearing them. This is just making them viable to go out in the world and kill something occasionally, if needed. I mean, this dude, for example, is pretty much all ready to rock and roll. Some characters just accidentally, by doing this farm, have a bunch of 610 gear that they've equipped over time, and it's GG. They don't really need much of anything, if really anything. So it's only just gap filling, really, on a lot of the characters, I think. It's better to have 100 gold at the end of the day for a piece of gear. It's like less than a world quest worth of gold. It's like tens of millions of gold. I shouldn't be splitting hairs over tiny amounts of gold. Yeah, this dude has just accidentally got reasonably geared just by killing rares. Oh my god. Look at the amount of high-end entropy rings on this realm. Jesus. Price of some of these. Damn, son. Let's get more to the peasant prices, please. Oh, why did I buy a pair of legs? Or I didn't buy a pair of legs. There we go. This dude's done. And that's all I need. I just need them to have just some very basic, not a lot of anything really gear. Now I've also got the ability to quickly see upgrades in the bags if they do kill a rare, get something. So they're done. Heirlooms would be a useful addition, but I'm not even sure they're upgrading heirlooms at this point. I have a sneaky suspicion they're leaving heirlooms in the dust. I've not seen anything about heirlooms getting upgrades. That would be my luck that they would randomly do heirloom upgrades and then change the system or something, but we'll see. Right, necklace. Shoulders. Chest piece probably could do with an upgrade, especially for 87 gold. Braces. 400 gold for 597. Yeah. My weapon's actually not great on this dude. Gloves. 600 for 140, that'll do. Do the ring. And a trinket of some sort. Oof, nearly 1,000 gold for a Dark Moon deck. Can I not get a... I'm going to pay 1,000 no, I'd have to pay twice as much for those. Alright, that'll do, whatever. Somebody's got a good sale on a Dark Moon deck. Uh, 603, 600 for significantly cheaper, that'll do. Oh, I should have checked this actually. One-handed dagger, trinket, 655 trinket. Second 655 trinket. 2 of those in 2 days apparently. That is probably actually the upgrade. 655 leather gloves. Oh, it's telling me to put leather gloves on, even though they're not the right. I guess that doesn't really matter. Just that's quite funny. Actually, it's telling me to put these on for a very, very good reason. Even equipping leather is a smart move. Even on a male wearing character because of the item level bump. How ridiculous is that? This is not your preferred armor type, I know, but what are you going to do? Did you say 540 was the item level a Lemix tune will get when you convert it to live? They changed it at some point. They changed it. I can't remember what they changed it from and to, but it was like 400 and something stupid, and then they bumped it up a whole bunch. But basically, whatever you get with a level 80 character boost is about what you'll expect. Ha! It's even telling me to put leather on here. Why would it tell me to put leather on here? Just purely because it's an item level upgrade. Okay, that doesn't make any sense because it's agility as well. That's definitely an upgrade. Trust pawn on that one. This little pawn add-on is not indestructible by the looks of things. It does make some slightly silly suggestions. Wow, there is nothing on this realm. This is going to be one of those realms where we don't get much done. Plate, shoulders. 603 for 50 gold though. Chest is good. Braces. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Legs. No rings equipped right now. Ah, I tell you what, there's part of me that feels like syndicating a bunch of this 649 gear places. Grabbing a bunch of this 642 to 649 gear and just spreading this out everywhere is not a terrible idea, even to this day. Even to this very day. Oh, haha. Speak of the devil, this is why. This is why. Because you will occasionally sell it on these lobby level realms. This is the advantage of having characters everywhere. One sale of that one BOE has covered the cost of this entire character's gearing. Okay, we're still missing a ring, which is a problem over here. What did you sell and how much for? Gold-plated sword. Gold-plated sword. I couldn't tell you what item level or anything, but 11,000 gold. Probably listed it for 12k. Minus auction house fee. Wants me to put cloth on? Probably not. Need to equip in a dagger? Also probably not. Armor, mail, helm. That'll do for 125 gold. Neck. Oh, they're spicy prices. Maybe we craft a neck. Or that for now. Better than nothing. Shoulders. 100 gold. Chest piece is fine. Braces are fine. Weapon could do with an upgrade. 603 weapon. That'll do for now. $610, $691, $610, $636. Just needs a trinket. What about this $655? Oh, that's held in offhand. I've for most of this little adventure at least, I've kind of lived by the theory that any BOEs and stuff I get, I just sell them all whenever I get them on whatever realm that I'm on. And my theory at least is that selling those BOEs basically covers the cost of buying this basic gear for these dudes anyway. So I don't really see this as a loss, really. This dude has a pair of leather boots he could put on. Pair of mail boots. These are, once again, I should arguably throw these, especially the mail stuff, in the war bank, but shuffling things around the war bank is far too much like hard work. Right, armor, plate, helm. Anything relatively cheap. Nightfall Executioner's helm for 1,000 gold. 642, why not? Neck's good, shoulders are good, chest is good. This dude's pretty doing alright. Weapon, two-handed weapon. Something less than 1,000 gold, please. Agi, intellect, Agi. Flipping out, where's the cheap? There we go, strength, stamina. Two-handed polearm, 1,000 gold. Gloves are good. Do with 2 rings and a trinket. 2 rings and a trinket. Spinner's Hoop of Aurora. Spinner's Circlet of Aurora. Go. 2 rings. And what did I say? A trinket. Dark Moon deck. Beautiful. 6:30. How are we doing, Pack B? Welcome in. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Did we find any rares out here? Next port of call. Any rares? Can I see any rares on the grid? Let's then do Core and Diabro. Got to get those Brewfest tokens. Tomorrow's realist auctions day, and I might use tomorrow after we've done Core and Diabro. That's a day where I put all of the tokens in the war bank and see what our total comes to. My napkin math tells me I'm able to get about 1,000 tokens a day. It shouldn't take more than 3 or 4 days to get all the tokens needed for Brewfest this year.
Watch your back.
And I can do some flying around and bits and pieces if we're missing a few at the end. They're an event thing, you can't mail them. Seasonal event items can't be mailed. They've all got to go in the war bank. But to put them all in the war bank, that means I need to carefully manage each account getting warband access. And then cycle through all of the characters on that account and then repeat the same thing 5 times. Kind of annoying to be fair, but it's still fine. This is still significantly faster than doing it on a single account. Oh shit, had I already killed him on these dudes? I must have done, because they haven't got their goodie bag. Yet somebody's still got loot. Swear I saw somebody get loot. You got a trinket still. You can actually perma-farm this for the trinkets. Verse, and then armor on use. No, I'll have the flat main stat. Oh, I didn't even realise I'd done die brew on this team. Right, next dudes. I mean, if they do upgrade heirlooms to 80, the problem is level 80 heirlooms will probably be 650 item level, something like that. Whereas buying some gear gets these dudes like 630-ish item level. So even heirlooms would definitely be the absolute quickest path to success, I feel. But I do think there would be a slight drawback with it still. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to get them super geared. They just need to be both viable when they go into midnight to do something that gets them leveled up. I don't know what yet. This is basically just planning ahead before we even get the alpha. So this is very, very forward thinking, really. But I know my schedule's busy and I'm not going to get too much time to do this sort of stuff between now and midnight's launch. War Within pre-patch event wasn't great to gear up alts. Yeah, I wonder because of things like Remix these days, whether they're even that incentivized to do massive catch-up stuff. Since there's so many catch-up gearing opportunities in the game now anyway, there isn't necessarily that strong need for a pre-patch to... I mean, we got turbo mode kicking off in a week's time. Like I said, with almost consistent catch-up systems running 24/7, it feels, the need for a big end of expansion catch-up isn't as strong as it once was. I can't even remember what the War Within pre-patch event was. When was it? Like I said, it's so aggressively beta season at that point that I have some pretty outrageous goals for the launch of Midnight. which my only hope of getting even half of it done is that I need to be really organized. As soon as we get the alpha, as soon as we start getting information, I need to start collating it and getting some stuff sorted. Alright, that's all the rares done. Whilst we're all... Oh, this is a team that can't do Core and Diabrew because they're not balanced properly. Okay, well in that case, let's do some gearing on these dudes then. Ha! Because yeah, I end up with characters like this all too frequently, right? Characters like this can't even tickle the balls of a current expansion mob. Which is why these guys need at least something in each slot. Does not need to be very, you know, very high quality. It just needs to be something. Heck. 800 gold. That's more than I would like to pay, but sure. Golders. That'll do. Chest piece is fine. Braces are fine. Weapon will do. Gloves could do with a fix. That'll do. Have I upgraded wraps on these dudes? I haven't upgraded wraps on everybody. Legs. This is more than I want to pay on legs. Right, sure. Boots. Ouch! Where's all the cheap shit? I've got a ring. Need another ring. Woo! Spicy meatball. I should be selling gear here. Never mind buying it. Jeez Louise. Spinner's hoop. Spinner's circlet. Trinkets. One of you. That might have to do. That might have to do. Oh, one of them. That'll do. It's fine. Alright, we've spent more than we should do on this round, but 2, 3, call it 4, 5 and a bit, 6 and a little bit. So, okay, it's still less than 10k. Still less than 10k. Without the hassle of buying materials and putting in orders and doing all sorts of craziness. Still less than 10k, and this has been on a realm where I thought that a lot of the options were expensive as well. We need to do wraps. That on all of them. Okay, get you some gear. What have you got already? Oh my god. Wowhead posted an article about the collector's edition. I'm confused. Do I have it right that the collector's edition will contain everything the Epic edition will have? Weird, the page is gone now. PC Gamer launched an article about it, and that's also been pulled. I'm pretty sure that there's an embargo on it that people have either just ignored or got wrong. You know, these news outlets have probably been told ahead of time to get their articles ready, but they probably shouldn't have pressed publish on them. I've never really bothered with the collector's editions, but who knows? We might get the midnight one. Might get the midnight one. We'll see. We'll see. Ouch. $6.42 for the shotgun. Ooh. Bad price. $6.35. We can do better than that. Should we see if we can do better than that without it costing too much? Mail, hands, 500 gold for a 600 item level. Yeah, it's not worth. Legs, 400 gold. Feet, 150 or 300 for 3 extra item levels. Will be cheap. Rings are good. Trinkets are good. Nice. If I got the collector's edition, I'd want them all for completion, and the vanilla one is not cheap. Well, yeah. Yeah. It'd be one of those things that even though I've played the game for 20 years, if I picked each one up previously, I'd probably continue the trend, but the fact that I've never bothered with any of them, I kind of agree. I would treat them as a collector's thing. And yeah, I bet a sealed vanilla one is not cheap. Wait, this is not your armor type? Where did these come from? Okay, sure. They are a significant upgrade. Fuck it, bang them on. I'll wear leather boots if they're what, like double the main stat? Sure, why not? Right. Let's go again. Who's this? Hunter. Surprise, surprise. It's 140 USD for the collector's edition, and it contains everything the Epic edition gives you. It's a good deal. I would imagine if it's 140 USD, then it won't actually even include any copy of the game. It will just be the bonus bits and pieces. There is often much frustration with people who buy the collector's edition that they feel obliged to buy the game twice. They feel obliged to buy the digital edition. especially because it gives early access stuff, e.g. early access to housing, 3 days early access. They feel obliged to buy both the collector's edition and a digital edition, so they might this time just not include any copy of the game with the collector's edition, so that you pay $100 or whatever it is for your Epic edition, and you pay $140 for your collector's edition, and then hey presto, the $250 that it usually is for the collector's edition would be the approach I imagine they will take. If it's because 140, I can't believe these words are falling out my mouth, but $140 is cheap for a collector's edition. They're usually about $250. So if the leaks seem to indicate it's going to be 140, I would guess it doesn't come with the game at all. It is just purely the extra goodies. Did I buy a helm? I don't think I did. And it also doesn't look like I'm going to. That one we'll have to do. Okay, this is a realm where we're probably not going to be buying anything. As there is literally nothing for sale. Wow, this is a dead realm. Welcome to the world of dead realm. That'll do though. That's actually also not bad on a dead realm, sure. God bless default auction listing prices on these dead realms. Oh my god, literally nothing. I can't believe I'm about to do this. 642 for 3k. That's far too much for a pair of legs. Boots. Got one ring, we need another. Oh boy. Yeah, that's not happening. Something's better than nothing. And a trinket. Also a strong indication that by the fact that this character's only got 60,000 gold on them, shows that stuff doesn't even sell on this realm. So it's both low population and actually dead. Why are we still getting absolutely smoked on item level here? Oh, because we don't have shoulders or neck at all. Okay, that's a problem, but we'll fix it another day. Here's a screenshot of the stuff. Okay. So this is apparently what it will contain. Or maybe on purchase they give maybe I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but it does seem to indicate that it's all the Epic Edition stuff, and then a Xalatath pin and a Dark Heart statue thing or something, and then an art book for midnight. Something along those lines. And then your Epic Edition stuff. This is all in, I think, Spanish. So, yeah, the Alter Time guys. These are good guys, by the way. They, I've spoken to them a few times. Right, what do we need here? Helm. Have we got any upgrades? We've got a random trinket we can throw on. 655 version of what we've already got equipped. Can't equip 2 of those, unfortunately. Leather, we're not putting leather on. Not with Agi, that's mental source. Right, a helm. Armor. Oh, plate this time. Okay, sure, one of you. Neck is fine. Shoulders could do with an upgrade given the choice. Not at these prices. Chest. This is an expensive realm. Braces are fine. Weapons fine. Boots, if there's a cheap one. A ring might not go amiss considering this is an intellect ring. Yeah, that's not happening either. Right, one of you, sure. Okay, better. Did we do wraps on these dudes? Yeah. Did I do diabrew on these dudes? Flipping hell. How do I tell that? Why? Oh, yeah. This is a team that doesn't do diabrew. I'm with it. Okay. Everything on the left is physical and the right is the digital. Yeah. Yeah, I'd imagine if you buy the collector's edition, it's just stuff. It's the art book, it's the Xalatath pin, like you're just getting the physical things. I expect it not to have a game key in it. I think it's probably by design that you can buy that collector's edition and then you just buy the digital edition of what you want anyway. Would be my assumption. But we'll find out in a few days when Blizzard actually tells us officially. Doesn't matter right now because you can't buy it anyway. Wait till it's at least semi-official. War Within had a game key in it. Yeah, and everybody complained that they felt the need to buy the game twice. And player housing is your early player housing. People are very, very, very incentivized to pre-order this time because of housing. Very, very, very incentivized to pre-order. Anybody that wants to play with housing has to shell up some money. Now, people are not going to want to buy the digital edition. People are not going to want to pre-order their digital edition and buy the collector's edition and feel like they're buying the game twice. This was a huge complaint last time, which is why I would imagine they're trying not to do that same thing again. They don't want any friction from you giving them money. They want to make that process as easy as possible. Wake me up when there's a Xalatath statue. Or just a cast of her foot, right? The dick-shaped hole in it. Too far? Latex feet replicas. That was a more subtle way of saying what I did. Alright, let's see if Slugger stays up long enough to kill him as well. New Fleshlight collab, I'd expect good sales. Oh boy. Oh, I'm not clicking on this image. Not on stream. Random Imgur links. Fucking hell. Jesus, I'm glad I didn't click it on stream. Click with caution. Do you think it's a good idea to start farming, stacking up on old Sunwell raid patterns and recipes since it's going to be redone, or will there be a Chromie time version of it and it'll stay in a different phase? I would imagine you will still be there'll be just 2 versions of it. I don't think they get like. Then I don't think it's going to be. They've learnt their lesson with this many times over already by this point. That if you are going to do a revamp of something, don't delete the old version because people will still want to farm it for collectibles. I don't think you should be too worried about that really. I mean, I could be proven wrong, but I don't think it's and you could always give it a go. What you might find is there's a bit of an uptick in demand for the collectibles because everybody will think something similar and try and ensure that they have, you know, it might be that everybody tries to finish their collections, and if that means that they buy a few things, they might buy a few things. You never know. Could work 2 ways. Sunwell's a popular one for farming anyway. The flipping recipes that drop in there are pretty high value items. And I've certainly sold a bunch. I'm very, very interested to see if the decor recipes are going to be attached to the profession achievements. For a while, I've half assumed they might, because it seems like a very obvious place to attach some decor recipes. Now I know the reason a lot of the engineering goggle recipes from Sunwell sell so easily is because you need to craft all of the goggles for one of the achievements. So there's a... Wow, we absolutely nucleared that boss. What happened there? So if we get a sneak peek at where all the decor recipes come from and all of a sudden they're attached to achievements, expect literally anything that goes anywhere near those to be up in value. think I have a few characters on different realms with all the patterns. Yeah, I've over the years tried to collect them, but I don't do a great job at it, honestly. Okay, it looks like this dude has a bunch of gear. It turns out he doesn't. It's just old epics. 610's fine. 606 will do. Oh, this dude. Oh, we're at the point where they don't have their cheat belt anymore. Because I couldn't be bothered to get that on all the dudes in the end. So 603 is a nice upgrade on the belt. Boots are fine. Could do with another ring. Not really at 4-digit prices. Big 4-digit prices as well. Need something to fill the gap though. Okay, it's better than nothing. One-handed mace, probably not. Trinket, potentially, if it just fills a gap. What we got down here? Leather, cloth, one-handed mace. Nope. Helm's good, neck's fine. Oh, I need to do wraps on all 4 of these dudes. Braces? Do. Item level 16 belt. I think we can do better than that. A ring. All these prices. There we go. That's better. Let's do wraps actually on these. Any news on alpha invites? Not yet. Not yet. I'm still hoping and praying for an email. I've not seen anything yet. They will probably allow people to preload though, so I would imagine that count flags will go out soon. Alright, what do you need? Shoulders? Flipping nobody has shoulders. The shoulders are apparently some sort of impossibly difficult piece of slot to fill. That'll do. Oh, weapon is double stinky. Oh my god, they're bad legs. 200 item level legs. Ouch. 603 will do. Boots are fine. Rings are right. Another finger. Finger me. Too sassy. Too sassy. That'll do. That is an item level upgrade, and actually I've only got a stupid... Oh, I've got 2 stupid trinkets on this. An intellect trinket, for Christ's sake. Okay, whatever. Still missing shoulders. Did I not buy any shoulders? After my little TED talk of why are shoulders so hard to come by, I then didn't buy any. Was it that they didn't exist? I swear I bought a pair of shoulders. Okay, maybe I didn't. 603s? Okay, much better. Yeah, my guess is alpha flags will probably go out over the weekend so people can preload it. But I don't expect many invites to go out. I just hope I'm on the list. I'm on the list. I just hope I actually get the invite. It's still not guaranteed. Helm, good. Shoulders, maybe? Armor, plate, shoulders. That'll do. Oh boy, oh boy. That's not happening. That's not happening in any way, shape, or form. Oh, what is this server? Okay. Legs. Fills a gap. Have either trinkets. Give me one of them. And then give me something that's not outrageously expensive. Well, everything's outrageously expensive. We're not doing that then. Just going to have to be short on a trinket. That's cloth. Nope. Oh shit, I've got an item level 16 weapon on this dude. That needs fixing. That needs fixing. That'll do. Much better. Not perfect, but better. Right, this team is all done then. We can move on. One more week. It's Tuesday, right? Tuesday. Yeah, it's October already next week. We got 1 week to do as much as we can profession wise. I have no idea how I'm going to actually achieve that, since there's 8 major crafting professions and everything else. I'm going to have to try and focus. I don't know. See, this is the crazy thing, right? If I do get into the alpha in this first phase to be able to properly have a look at the professions, I'm not even sure how much streaming I'm going to be able to do. Because there is a bit of a time limit. Honestly, I might need... we will stream some, but my efforts might have to be more focused on short form, 10-15 minute profession overview sort of stuff. Otherwise, I'm just not going to get it done before Remix launches. And more so than last expansion, I would much rather get some documentation down about things early. Simply because, well, I didn't get into the alpha last expansion, so this is all very hypothetical until I actually get an alpha invite. But the hypothetical aspect of this for me is that for the War Within, not getting into the alpha meant that my beta period was just absolutely bananas crazy. Because I had very little to go by. I had seen vicariously information about the alpha, but that was it. So I felt like when the beta launched, I was playing catch up and then had to do a lot of stuff. I need to carefully spread the load a little bit more this time if we want to investigate everything properly. Alpha greater than Lemix. Well, one thing we do know is that with the phasing of alpha, there will need to be a day or two at the very least each week focused towards alpha to be able to test the new zones, see what's going on in them. Because the likelihood is they will... I don't know if you lot have looked at the schedule, but they're doing each zone each week, and the likelihood is when they go from one phase to another, they might remove your access from the earlier phase stuff. So it does kind of mean if you want to test all zones and get a good feel for things, you are going to need to do a little bit of alpha each and every week. Or I will need to do a little bit, probably a couple of days at least. So there is going to be quite a clash of... there's going to be quite a clash. On one hand, I'm going to, yes, probably want to be playing Remix a whole bunch. But on the other hand, if I get the luxury of having access to the alpha, I shouldn't rest on that rest on that privilege almost. But let's see if we even get access first. Right, that's all the rares done at least. Let's get Dire Brew. Oh no, this is a team that can't do Dire Brew because it's not balanced. So let's first start off by doing wraps. Good gear shopping. Maybe better chance for Alpha this time around. Well, like I said, at least this time I got to put my name forward. You know, put my name on a list. It still is of no guarantee that I get invited in, but at least I'm one step closer. Now, in this day and age, you don't necessarily want to be on a list. But this is a list I wouldn't mind being on. $642 for 1,000 gold. More than I want to spend on a piece of gear, but we'll take it. Weapon, if it was one of these on the cheap. Whoa, look at the amount of rings on this realm. Holy. Wow, so many options, but absolutely nothing that's reasonably priced. Nothing that's reasonably priced. Why am I still hard lacking on item levels? It's shoulders again. Did I not buy shoulders? How do I do this 50? How do I do this on every character? I swear this is rigged. How do I somehow... What? Huh? we go. Oh, you're not too bad already. You're almost acceptably geared already. Strength trinket, that's an upgrade. over the one we've already got equipped. Yes, please. Put you on. Leather plates. Oh, they are absolutely going on. Okay, armor, plates, helm is fine. We need a necklace. 200 gold. That's my kind of price. Shoulders. Let's not miss those again somehow. Maybe, possibly. Whoa, not a lot going on here. Okay, 1,000 gold. Braces are probably fine. $300 gold for an upgrade. Weapons fine. Gloves are fine. Need a belt. Item level 16. Can do better than that. This is too much to spend on a piece of gear. Boots. Things are fine. Trinkets are fine. 2, 3, 4,000 gold. Okay, he's not bad. Not bad at all. I'm actually pleasantly surprised just how many of these realms have got something on them for sale that's acceptable. I was really kind of concerned. This dude's still got a bunch of heirlooms on. I was kind of concerned that a lot of the realms would be so goddamn dead there'd be nothing listed on any of them, but even low pop realms clearly have people on. Armor, mail, helm. That'll do for 500 gold. Miscellaneous neck. 1,500 gold. Too much, but have to do. Shoulders. 600 gold or 300 gold. Cheap out. Chest is fine. Braces are fine. Weapon could definitely be better if there's a 642 one on the cheap. Oh yeah, now we're cooking. Gloves. $1,800 gold for something that's got reasonable item level on it. Or 400 gold for something that's acceptable. Gold. Legs. That'll do for 100 gold. Boots are fine. Heirloom rings. I think we can do better than heirloom rings. Well, I hope we can. Spinner's circlet. Check we haven't got one of those on already. And then we need a trinket. 250 gold. 750 gold. What even is this? Baleful excerpt. Flip to the next session. What? Stat stick. Fucking hell do these mean? I don't know. One of you. Beautiful. Much better. A 603 ring. Might be worth putting on. That said, it's worth 30k. I'd be better off selling it. And I think I probably would be better off selling it. Damaged necklace for 3,000 gold? Go on. Go on. That one's better. God. Gotta get that belt changed. 642 for 800 gold. Anybody out there with more money than sense? How many of you are flipping these right now? I probably can't talk to many people about this, but there is got to be people out there that are doing business on these entropy rings, right? Surely. I cannot believe that they're being listed for these sorts of prices. $714. Mythic Raiders don't care for prices, they only care for item level. The thing is, this stuff isn't selling to Mythic Raiders. It's a massive misconception. It's not Mythic Raiders that buy these. These are bought by people who don't have access to Mythic Raiding. Because people who don't have access to Mythic Raiding are even more sweaty when it comes to item level. Mythic Raiders get this by killing bosses. Like, they get this for free by killing bosses. These are sold to people who try and flex in LFR. Which is the crazy thing about it. But it still surprises me every day that listing rings for 3 million gold is a thing. I could do with a second one, actually. A spinner's... What did we just buy? We bought the spinner's hoop. I get a spinner's circlet for not stupid money. Apparently not. Those are bought by people who are always coming back to WoW after a long time and get hooked for a week, spending tons of gold that they've got stashed, but then mostly just buy tokens. Yeah. I'm a Mythic Raider, I wouldn't be spending that kind of gold. Yeah, this is it. Like, people assume that Mythic Raiders trying to absolutely min-max their item level. That is usually not so much the case, I've always found. Because those players, they have access to high item level gear anyway. They don't need to buy it. They have access to it within the game. Those big dick, outrageously high profile BOEs are attractive to those players who have no other way to acquire that level of gear. And they will buy it as a way to, you know, flex on others with it, which is kind of weird, but, you know, it's also kind of true. But my question is if anybody is buying and selling those, taking them from server to server, how frequently are they seeing like sales on them? Is it just a complete facade that people get them dropped from the raid and they post them and just hope? Or are people actually doing goblin things with them? Because I have in my past flipped raid BOEs and made some good gold off it, but I've never done it like cross-realm or on a serious scale. Honestly, the last time I flipped raid BOEs was probably BFA. I've always found it to be incredibly lucrative, but very risky. Since there's a finite, you know, you buy something and even if you think it's cheap, if you can't resell it within 7 days, you're going to take a loss on it. Mythic Raiders are the ones that are selling them. They're not the ones that are buying them. Yeah, ticking time bomb, very, very much the case. Which is why I think buying and selling them and flipping them probably requires too much babysitting for me. Because you'd have to be really hot on keeping track of what you buy them for. You'd then have to be really hot on keeping track of where you take them to sell them. You would also then probably need to be... You would need to be keeping track of the auctions on those very carefully. Doing no more than 12-hour listings and also making sure that you keep them up, you know. And I know there are people that are going to get one of those and they will sit with one of those and they will cancel scan and babysit that one auction because they got lucky during the raid that evening. This is why I tend to think it's on paper very, very valuable a market, but also incredibly risky at the same time. But for those brave enough, probably very good gold to be made in it. The longer the raid goes on, the lower the prices get. Heroic BOEs are the best in the first 4 weeks. Yeah, I imagine, because they're quite attractive to everybody at that point. Still, it's an interesting market, just not one I've got much experience in within the last few years. Why I question. Guildmate who re-rolled mid-progression to a different tank. He was buying BOEs from the auction house. He spent millions, but got back almost the same item level that he started on his other toon, and we were doing Mythic. Well, like I said, there are some players who are... There's always exceptions to the rule. Generally speaking, it's unlikely to be Mythic players that are then buying those things. A re-roll of a character is a bit of an exception, isn't it? Let's be honest. Rares are done. Let's kill Dire Brew, actually. Get some Brewfest tokens. Worth it if you've got a lot of free time to babysit it, but probably not that worth it if you only play a few hours. Yeah, like for me, for example, I'm trying to do things at too big of a scale to babysit something like that. I would rather post my auctions once every 48 hours, do a sniper scan once a day to try and hunt down quote-unquote cheap deals, but then, you know, post it and leave it. And I would rather have lesser valuable items that sell slower on a post it and leave it basis across every realm than maybe try and focus on super high ticket items on a handful of realms. You kind of have to maybe do either or. Unless you, like you said, have got 25 hours in a day. Are happy to spend them all. Stop stunning me. One of me toons died. There's another reason why they need some gear. Luckily, paladins in group can fix this problem themselves. The Brewfest tokens transferable then? I thought they were... No, they're warbound. They're warbound. They were soulbound on day one, but they've hotfixed it. Because it was stupid them being soulbound. It's moves like this that does, like, lead me to question a lot of what Blizzard does sometimes. Because they clearly have not embraced warbands properly. Because if they had, they wouldn't keep adding things to the game that completely do not align with the warband philosophy. They keep adding things that, like, your first instinct would be, oh right, this will be cool. I can do this on one character, and then all of my characters. Oh no, oh no. It seems really odd that they want warbands to be like an evergreen thing, but they're so slow at like doing anything about it. We still don't have half of the reputations warband wide, for example, which is kind of the whole point of them. It's kind of the point of why they exist. It was meant to add that flexibility that if you've done a rep grind, for example, once, you shouldn't have to do it again. Huge question marks around professions when it comes to warbands, because there's basically zero warband wideness with professions. You want another jewel crafter, you got to spin up another jewel crafter, and it's at exactly the same pace without any luxury. Like, you could have a fully maxed jewel crafter on one of your characters, but do you gain any bonus on another character? Not a bean. Which I think is kind of odd. Kind of weird. Right. Helm is probably fine, but let's see if there's a cheap alternative. Not really. Oh god. This is going to be a difficult realm, isn't it? Shoulders. Wow, there's nothing going on. That's good enough, though. Okay, at least the rest of the gear is fine. you seen the new mount for Brewfest drop yet? Yeah, Drizzling Rose got it on first day. In my group as well. Disgusting. Stole all of my streamer luck. Oh, it definitely exists. Why are we still very low? Oh yeah, because the necklace is still real stinky. There's a couple of stinkers in there, but what I didn't do is wraps on all of these. Might as well upgrade that, given the choice. Town Mill, Twisting Nether Drain, or Ragnar's Kazakh on the EU, the ones for buying and selling. Yeah, if you were doing raid BOEs, you'd definitely focus on the big realms. But you'd also want to be... You'd want to probably also be focusing on the smaller realms for just snagging deals. Because I do think that there'll be those smaller realms where somebody will get something to drop, and because it won't exist on that realm otherwise... whenever you give players the opportunity to choose how much they post something for, a lot of the time they will massively undervalue something, especially like a raid BOE. So you'll possibly find that your more safe approach would be to sell on the top 4 realms, maybe, where you'll have competition and you'll have to babysit to get those sales, but it removes that sort of risk of not selling something. Then you want to probably look at snagging the cheap deals on the lowest of the low pop servers, where that sort of item doesn't normally turn up. Would be the way I would imagine it's best to do it. Can't believe I'm buying one of these. Flipping out. Loads of cheap plate stuff on this realm though. Weapon, 2-handed weapon. 642 Agi, give me strength, 1000 gold, 642 2-handed sword, that'll do. Oh my god, what are these prices on belts? Oh, that'll do. $50 gold? Can't argue with 50 gold. Right, 2 rings. This is where it could get expensive or not even possible. $5 figures? I don't even want to pay 4 figures. Circlet, Spinner's Circlet for 500 gold. Then should have bought the cheaper one. Spinner's Hoop for 400 gold. That's good enough. We'll go with good enough. You also need to know the stats on the BOEs that are selling the best. Yeah, there's definitely a skill gap with it. This is why I think not only do not that many people even have the possibility to think about doing it, I also think that there are people that probably try doing it and then, for example, you know, if you've got, let's say you've got $1 million gold and you think, you know what, I'm going to buy a couple of these heroic tier BOEs for like, let me say I buy them for 150k a piece, and I hope to sell them for 250k a piece. You want to make 100k profit on each one. It sounds like a good little adventure to go on, but the problem is if you buy 3 items, for like a combined value of like 450k, that's half your gold. What if you don't sell those 3 items, or you buy 3 items that you think look cheap, but then they've got undesirable stats on them, which makes them even harder for you to sell? Then you start getting absolutely desperate to sell them, so you start dropping the prices so that you don't take too much of a loss. You can, as quickly as you can make 100k on a flip, you can lose 400k. This is why I sort of imagine there's a lot of people that give it a go and then quickly 180 and go the other way, you know? Like, whoa, okay, this is not as straightforward as it looks. I'm not putting those on, I refuse. 2-handed Agi staff. 2-handed Agi staff would be great if we were going flipping, if we were survival. Oh, no, wait, hang on. Helm. Ooh, half price. It's got to be that one, isn't it? Next, fine. Shoulders. I want to pay 4k. And I can pay 300 gold. 610's fine. Braces. 200 gold with a socket. Lol. Those gloves need replacing. 300 gold will do it. Belt. 500 gold. Eggs. 112 gold. Or 1,000 gold. We'll treat ourselves. Boots are fine. We need rings. Please be some good rings at a low price. Oh, God. No. Okay. This is problematic. Okay, I am not paying 3k minimum for these rings. I'm just gonna have to have a problem on my hands with those. Trinkets. Oh, I'm not paying 2.5k for a Dark Moon deck either. That's actually bananas. Oh shit. Okay, this character's gonna still be wildly undergeared. Flipping out. That's cheap. They're not a bad price, to be fair, for flipping out. Might have to come back and harvest this realm with its cheap weapons, you know. Gaps I can fill by just buying a bunch of cheap stuff off a bigger realm, but... I probably should just either... I probably just should find somewhere cheap and buy like 20 rings, and then any I don't use, it probably won't be that difficult to resell them. Should be another way to do this, but I've started now. I missed the 101 BOE days in Legion. Yeah, that was a... There isn't so much like that now. The closest, like lamp... It's not for any sort of power gain reasons. 101 BOEs were like great for like speed sets and stuff, which we don't really get as much of these days. There are some sort of cosmetic-y stuff like that in the game right now. The lamplighter set, for example, is often massively undervalued. But that's more from a transmog cosmetic side of thing, whereas 101 BOEs back in the day actually had some tangible value to people. What was it? You could be level... Back in Legion before we had a squish. What was it? Well, yeah, they were item level 101. I think you could be 10 level. You could be 10 levels below max level, but they gave you like humongous. They had stats on them as if you were max level or something. I can't remember the ins and outs, but yeah, I remember there was some fun shenanigans to be had with them. Okay, this dude's actually got gear apart from the occasional slot that he doesn't have anything in. And flipping out. We ain't filling those gaps with anything easily either. We'll have one of those though. Everything else though is not so fun. Have to do. Vitriolic inch shifter. That's one of the Ecodome pets. I've sold that quite cheap, but I would have definitely bought it for less than that. Okay, there's another team done. Did we kill the res on these dudes? We did. This is quite a slow, methodical process on each of these teams, but it's one that, once again, I'm not going to have too much time to do this when we're elbow deep in, like, beta, for example. Gildew followed everything I told him to do. Now he has the ability to do exactly as much goal making as he wants or doesn't want to. Paid for his own expansions with gold and another friend of his. One of the most important lessons I taught him was don't invest gold you're not willing to lose. Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah, fundamental rule, pretty much, is that if you are going to spend something on trying to flip something, be prepared for you to lose every single penny of that gold. If you will spend it on something and you won't miss the gold, then it's a safe flip to do. Because there's only an upside then. Change the tunes a bit. Bit heavy now. Right, let's do Diabro. ChatGPT made a reference to Lazy Goalmaker when I asked about a flipping operation. That's because of his blog. Probably because of his blog. It'll have probably been scraped as a source of information.
How are you?
Especially since he's had that thing up and running for flipping years at this point as well. I call it his blog, but you know, a website, isn't it? I haven't really explored this option much, but I am still very tempted to spin up a simple website for goal making stuff. Just as a place where I can centralize a lot of the information. That makes sense. Not necessarily for it to be like a main spot or anything, but I kind of half sort of used to use YouTube for that, and then I decided to try and do the same with the Discord. And the reality is that both of those platforms are sort of social media-y platforms in and of their own. Spinning up a website that can be like a centralized location can make the whole thing a lot more organized. And especially if I look at doing a Goblin Guide to Midnight, it might make navigation of that easier for people as well. Big critique was that the Word document style was not so easy to navigate. Although, I mean, I do wonder if people just haven't, figured out what control, where the search bar is, but I think one big long document is not as easily navigationable, even if I chapterize it and try and do clever things with it. I think more people might be more comfortable bouncing around different pages on a website. But I haven't decided yet. I should really decide quickly, as it's about to happen already. Only invest the amount you're willing to lose because it's all upside. Sounds quite familiar to the I farmed it, so it's free. There are similarities, I'll give you that. Hang on, let's do the wraps before we do anything else. Everybody there, 630 capes. Okay, 305 item level. Oh dear. Oh dear. Hard to not put that on, I suppose. Only a one-handed axe, that's not helpful. Right. Helm's fine, neck's fine, shoulders, armor, mail, shoulders, go. 800 gold for an average ass piece of gears. They're not 640. There is 642s, but not at that price. Oof. 15 gold. That's fine. Braces. 100 gold. Now we're talking. Ha! Item level 16 bow. I hope I can do better than that. Gloves. $120 gold. Fill a gap. 600 gold. 600 item level, sorry. 2 fingers. Oh, please be some cheap stuff. There's nothing cheap. Oh, God. 1 malleable band. One malleable band, and what's the absolute cheap? I'm not paying 5k for a 603 ring. Not paying 4k for a 603 ring. Okay, we're just going to have to not have a ring. Not paying those prices, that's outrageous. I can give you the macro for that, give me a minute. That's better. It's a slash command, so / and then paste. We'll bring up your wraps from without you actually having to go there. I'm the one posting this lucky streak pendant at 70k. Oh, gold. There's not many good options here. If I'm spending 2,000 gold, spend 3,000 gold and get a good one. Shoulders are fine. Chest plate. Braces are fine. Waist. Gold. Boots. 100 gold. These prices, man. They'll just have to be low level. Do with a trinket. Have I got one of these? Got over here. That can go on actually. That means I don't need another trinket. Oh boy. Right, let me grab a drink before I do this one. I've always thought that any drink that comes out of a can, an ice cold can of something, always tastes so much better than almost any other option. There is only one better option, and it's Coca-Cola out of a glass bottle. Otherwise, cold can, best vehicle for any sort of drink. Those little mini plastic bottles that all stuff comes in these days are just flipping horrible. Wow. The options there were not good. Thought stumbled across a bargain then until I realised there's like no gear on the auction house. This is too expensive for a piece of gear. That's outrageous. Oh my god. It's just not happening. Found myself a real dead realm, apparently. Where's this? Akaram, wherever the hell that is. Dark Moon Trinkets, surely. Flipping hell, even Dark Moon Trinkets are 2,500 gold here. Yeah, no. Just no. We already spent too much on gearing that dude up. But we can't have a level 80 running around in 300 item level gear. Get absolutely peppered the first time it comes across any enemy. It's not that much better than a freshly dinged 80, but something is better than nothing. And like I said, this is my only real desire with this, is just to make sure that these characters, when midnight launches, can head into midnight and hit things and not die. Or at the very least, take a couple of hits without dying. With having an idea of how we're going to level up to 90, not really solidified yet. All I do know is that there is some chance. That's actually not a bad piece of gear, leech on it as well. There's some chance that it'll be some sort of AFK main account boosting them up to 90, but it still probably might mean that they need to take a hit or two. So, safety first, if nothing else. This dude's not doing too badly. I might actually end up leaving this dude pretty much as is. Braces. Gold. Yeah, not getting anything there. Gloves. $400 gold is manageable. Flipping now. Okay, dead realm. Beat. Okay. Not overly upgraded on that dude, is he? Right. Right, is anybody going to have any rares up at least? Need some more Mechanica. To be honest, even a couple of Mechanicas will pay for all of this gear upgrading anyway. One rare. Whack. I guess I'm not going to bother then. Let's kill Diabro. Thursday last week was terrible for trying to kill the rares as well. I don't know what it is about Thursday. Thursday's clearly just not a good day for it.
Talk to me. Off with you.
Okay. Turns out I can't really avoid getting mugged off. Oh, too slow. I don't seem to have flipping lay on hands keybind on my paladins somehow for some reason. I don't know how that slipped through the net. Or if I do, I can't spot it on my keybinds quickly. Why do I not have lay on hands? It's usually F, so I don't know where the flipping hell it's gone. Don't know what's gone on there. Anyway, Brewfest tokens all round. Loot it in case you get trinket or tankard to sell. Did get a trinket. Place that goblin goo one. Megapunk time. You are passing the 3-hour mark. The problem is if I load up Megabonk, I won't do anything for the rest of the day. I literally won't get anything done if I load up Megabonk. It's too fun, that damn game. I'm a bit of a sucker for those kind of games, though, I've realised.
Good fortune to our friends.
I'm more inclined to go get some food before I am to start bonking. I need high energy to mega bonk anyway. I'm a bit tired today. Some high energy bonking is a better solution. Off 200 staff. Right, what do we need here? Looks like everything. Oh no. Necklace. 1,000 gold with a socket. Still the good one from somebody else. Chest piece is fine. Braces are fine. Weapons fine. Okay, we're pretty much got shit we need on this dude. Boots could do with upgrade if there's a cheap upgrade. 50 gold, that's cheap enough. Rings are not great, but they'll do. Okay, this is an easy one. Easy one. I realised I'm a sucker for roguelike games. It's yeah, they're just fun. The fact that, you know, you incrementally get slightly stronger, they're not far different from how you play MMOs, really. Every time you run a dungeon or every time you kill a raid boss, the theory is that you get something that gets you a bit stronger to go and do it again. Like that circular progression path is you know, transfers across. $655. Oh, that is actually an upgrade. Vampire Survivors, for example, I have played and completed on both the PC and on my phone. Although I haven't downloaded the newer expansion packs for Vampire Survivors. But yeah, that was definitely the game that really solidified for me that these are just like fun little time waster games. It's kind of funny because it's very much what Torghast could have been. And it was almost there. Torghast was like a roguelite light. It was kind of almost there. They just didn't quite get it right. And I think if back in the day Blizzard weren't so, you must run Torghast twice a week to get your legendary power, I still think that was the kiss of death for that game mode completely. In an alternative universe, I think Torghast would have been received much better. They made their bed with that one. Oh God, no options whatsoever. Okay, that's gonna have to do. Better than item level 16. A trinket. Okay, it'll do. You seen WoW achievement? Yeah, I've looked at that a little bit. It's going to be very useful for Remix. It also showed me just how much I did not play Legion. Scarily low amount of playtime on Legion for me. Scarily low amount of playtime. I'm going to have 8 million gold worth of bronze to farm in Remix. Going to get quite scary. That'll do. $603 boots. 1,000 gold. No, 100 gold. 1/10 the price. One more ring. $622, much better. Wonder if the remix event will retroactive the rep warband wide. That's a good question. I don't actually know. Can you tell me what are the best stats for leatherworking? I'm not sure I understand the question. Is that meant to say tools for leatherworking? I'm not sure. What missives to you? It depends what you're crafting. That's why there's options. Leatherworking, though, you're not going to be using concentration much. If you're crafting something that can multi-craft is always the best one to use. If you're just doing work orders for people, then resourcefulness. It depends what you're doing. I mount in eagles as mounts in Remix. I actually want these. I think there's going to be plenty of stuff that people will want to chase after in Remix. I'm quite content with the fact that I don't really care that much for the MOG. So 8 million 8 million bronze is a ridiculous amount, but as long as I get the pets and the mounts and the toys, I'm kind of happy. Anything after that is just a bonus. The fact that they're time gating the phases and also time gating your ability to pick up the rewards is going to be kind of annoying. But I hope one thing they might consider doing is upping the amount you can hold from 500,000 to a bigger number. So that if you are playing it more aggressively in one phase, you can save your bronze and then just log in when the phase unlocks and you can buy your stuff. But we'll see what they do. I'm going to be really intrigued to see just what the general player feedback on Remix is in like the first couple of weeks. Because I've seen this pattern happen a fair few times, right? There are people that pay absolutely zero attention to any sort of PTR or test phases. And then they step into it and they're like, this isn't what I expected. And there's going to be a big reality shock for some people. I saw Bear do it live yesterday that made me giggle.
You got my attention.
The fact that there are some people that played Mop Remix a lot, but won't have paid any attention to any of the goings on about the testing of Legion. And in the first couple of days, we'll be very surprised by the fact that it's just not the same in the slightest. Very, very, very foundationally, it's similar, but in practice, it's so different. From phasing to gearing up to bronze acquisition, from daily task list, it's all so very different. Not to mention, unless they do something about leveling, people are going to be like, why have I been playing this for 10 hours and I'm still only level 40? People are going to be like, this isn't faster. Where's the faster? Which I think is going to really rock some people in the first week of Remix. But we've got all of that to look forward to. If you're here and now, you've probably heard me talk about this 15 times, so it won't come as any surprise to you, but it's when it gets put in the hands of General Joe, then all of a sudden the questions come out the woodwork, like, what is this? Why is this? Now, it has turned out that I haven't really needed these wraps on every single one of these characters. But it is a 730 piece of gear on all of these dudes, and it didn't really take that much time or effort to get it, so it's turned out to be not as... Well, the reality is I was kind of expecting to be farming something in Koresh, where it might have had more advantage, but turns out not so much. Ooh, this dude's actually got some gear. That sum does not amass to much, though. Fast hand Joe. Yeah, not only one letter away, I suppose. I hadn't even thought about that, but you're right. Okay, that's not getting replaced then. Shoulders. Okay, this dude has some gear. Reality is most of it is level 70 pre-made gear. This must have been a remix character back in the day then. So it's a good 150 item levels behind where it could really do with being. 2 rings, 2 trinkets. Oh, blimey. Not at these prices. Flipping hell's bells. What's his weapon looking like? His weapon's... That's actually a big boy trinket. I should have just put that on. Note to self, check what you've already got in your bags first. Okay, still slacking somewhere. It's those rings that are going to be pulling him back. Wraps are so strong. I don't think Blizzard really balanced content around them being so strong. Last season doesn't matter so much though, does it really? With a hard reset coming. I have always thought that Blizzard should do more to just like let the reins off a little bit at this sort of time. Let fun be fun for a while. If stuff ends up being a bit broken, then so be it. It's fun to have something that's busted occasionally. I mean, it's literally the concept of remix, isn't it? This is why I tend to think that I really hope that the player base just kind of maybe doesn't notice the differences, but they will feel it. Like the first couple of days of remix, you'll start to get these question, why is this like this? And why is this like this? And why is this like that? Especially since anybody that paid at least some attention to the PTR testing will be like, didn't they fix this? Didn't they make us all strong? And will have been completely bamboozled by the fact that they gave everybody 999 infinite stat cheat mode so that the news would spread that we are actually strong. Very sneaky. Okay, we're not changing them. Unshrink it. Beautiful. Getting there. Slowly but surely. Warband Miser. Yeah. It's a godsend, that little add-on. Really clever little add-on. Especially now I've got so many characters on different realms. Every time I open the Warbank, it normalizes the gold on each toon. Very clever. Once again, I'd put that on if I was flipping survival spec. Oh, wait, hang on. This dude's gear's not too bad either. What's going on here? How have some of these guys all of a sudden got gear? Where did they get this from? That'll do. 600 shoulders. Ooh, we pay 700 gold for some boots. Not a bad price for 642 boots. It's actually really odd how this current patch's world drop BOEs are still so expensive. The loot drop change has really, really added significant value to catch-up gear for people too lazy to go out and do some simple questing. E.g. me. 2 trinkets. Do I not have a trinket on hand? Not a single trinket on hand. A medallion's probably an easy way to do it, isn't it? That'll do. That'll do. Won't be much help when your war bank is gold capped. True. That's tomorrow's problem, though. By that point, you just start muling it on level 10 characters that you never log into anyway. Ha! These are clearly all old remix characters. They've all got 467 gear on them. .467 gear that was never swapped out or replaced with anything. I don't want to be spending 2,000 gold on a necklace. Flipping out. Mm, 100 gold. Wait, I swear that said 100 gold. With a ring. Spinner's hoop. Worth changing the other? Not really. A trinket if the cheap one. Medallion. Let's get a Dark Moon deck for 150 gold. Oh, snap! Sold a fox kit and a porcupet on this realm. Oh, there we go. That's paid for all of this gear in one go. All this money we've been spending on gearing these tunes up. One pet, job done. Seems like you'll be able to take your gear from Lemix into retail, 740 item level. You're not going to keep it at 740 item level. There's no chance you keep it at 740 item level. They will use whatever the level 80 character boost gives you. Absolutely no way it'll be 740. It will all scale down. If you're level 80, it'll basically be the same as buying a level 80 character boost. Which I don't know what item level that gear gives you right now, but I'd imagine it's like 650 or something. $655. So that sounds about right. What did I buy Fox Kit and Porcupet at then? Fox Kit specifically. Did I buy this recently? If I did, I didn't buy it on this realm or this account. could equally be a pet that I've had for a while. Or install Journalator. Very probable. How does a Great Sea Ray come out for this? Oh, because it's in the player name. Okay, I've got no purchase data for that Fox kit, but sold it for 100k. 100k minus auction house cut. 3 times the regional sale average for one of those. Mind if I do? That's meant that we've broke even for today, roughly. I can't imagine I've spent more than 100k leveling up these tunes, so that sounds like a win. One good sale each day covers the cost of doing all this sort of silly stuff. Very nice. Very nice indeed. There's a floof. There should be 3 of them. There should be 3 of them. I can spot 2. Third one's by the water bowl. Give me 2 minutes, boys and girls. Okay, I took the puppy for a quick pee break. Reality is she needs feeding and walking soon as well. Maybe I'll get one more team sorted. One more team sorted. And I might have to consider being an adult for a while. Does have to happen sometimes. Because I'm going to be honest, kind of think all 3 doggos are waiting to go out. So all 3 of them are like, human, you are not drinking coffee. You've been playing games too much. Right, let's get some stuff done. Let's do Diabrew. Very least. So it would be quite nice to get Brewfest finito. At the latest tomorrow, really.
What's on your mind? Here there. Be good.
Oh shit, disarmed. That wasn't the plan. Die already! Pet do pet things! There we go. What are you getting? A thin? Drink it. I haven't been doing the hourly event on the hour either today, which is something I probably should have been doing. Although I kind of half assumed that these BOEs are going to be a bit of a meme. Like they'll be super duper mega expensive for a day or two, and then they'll be worth pennies. They'll be far too easy for most players to get. That said, tempted to hoover up 50 to 100 of them for cheap to sell over the next 12 months. What's the hourly even for? Well, there's a transmog set to collect. There's also some BOEs, and who doesn't love pretzels, right? Free pretzels? Anybody for free pretzels? Now you can get one of the goodie bags. I think the green goodie bag has like 15 tokens in it or something, so it's a way for you to gain more tokens per day. Because there's quite a hefty requirement of if you want to collect everything new this year. Obviously, you don't have to do all of it, but that doesn't mean some people won't. Heck, this time next year, we could be, it might not be completely ridiculous to be starting to talk about The Last Titan. If my suspicions are to be confirmed, that Blizzard really would like to slowly but surely, and they clearly are already doing this, it just depends on how long before they like take the plunge. They clearly want 12-month expansions. And if they want 12-month expansions, they need to shave a month off each season, at least. Let me clarify, I'm not entirely convinced it's Blizzard themselves that want 12-month expansions, but I'm pretty sure the people who deal with the numbers want 12-month expansions. And unfortunately, what they want, they usually get. You know, for-profit company and all that. Because what's better than launching an expansion once every 2 years? Launching an expansion every 18 months. What's better than launching an expansion every 18 months? Launching an expansion each and every financial year, so there's no break in the money flow. I'm no financial genius, but it does make sense to me that that's the direction they're going. 642 for 1,000 gold? That's not terrible. Eggs. 90 gold. Boots are good. Rings, maybe. Any cheap rings? Wow, literally none. Flipping else. Okay, sack those off then. Weapon alright? Could probably be better. Let's double check. Ranged. Yeah, go on then. 800 gold for 2 shotgun. Turns out big money makes the decisions. Yeah, for sure. Need an advent calendar this year? Yeah, true. I should probably start thinking about an advent calendar this year, shouldn't I? Try and find a slightly cooler, more interesting one than just, here's a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. This character doesn't really need any gear upgrades, to be honest, but we're here, we're doing it, so let's be here and let's do it. Helm. Things like the Lego advent calendars or similar. Yeah, there's some cool stuff out there. It's a combination of finding something that's quite cool and something that doesn't cost 50 to 150 bucks, which I've always, in the last few years, advent calendars have got like, they've gone from being something cool that you might spend 10 bucks on to like, since when is anybody spending 250? The craft beer advent calendar, now that I'd get behind. That's a proper Brewdog thing. That's tempting. That's tempting. The problem is when I stream, I stream in the morning. If I start getting into the habit of drinking a beer every morning, I think I might be alcoholic by the time Santa turns up. Which is not a good brand image, I can tell you that much. Get the naked ladies calendar. Probably not stream friendly either, that one. Alright, this round doesn't have many options. Or, let me re-clarify, there are options, but they're not great. That's not bad though. Two-handed sword. The hell's all the plate legs? Not spending that much on those. They just have to be. Trinket wouldn't go amiss. Have I not got one? No. Cadbury's Hero Chocolate Pieces Calendar. Yeah, basic sort of candy style calendars are your defaults. Definitely a default, but gotta find something cool out there. Gotta be something cool. A Zalatoth calendar, every day is a new feet angle. Jesus Christ. They have Naked Ladies calendar, but all of the girls are called Candy and so on. Oh, I see. Ah, these are unique equip. Can't put 2 of those on. Flipping out. There's nothing on this realm either. This dude might just have to live in bad gear. Jesus. Okay. Thank God he's got remix gear to begin with, because he isn't getting anything better. Ouch. That'll do. $150 gold, we take that. Lord have mercy. Okay. Luckily, he doesn't need too much. Didn't quite even hit the 600 item level mark, which is a shame, but at least he'll be able to kill something, even if it's slowly. We need to get one of those advent sets from Amazon, put a little present in it each day. You'll have your advent for the next year. That's not a bad idea, actually. That's not a terrible idea. That could be an easier solution. Something cool to open on stream each day. Both rings and both trinkets on this dude. You can always tell when you're on a realm that, like, does raiding. It's actually surprising to see just how many realms now clearly don't even have a single raiding guild on them. Because looking for rings on a bunch of realms, there's been lots where there's been none of this going on. Like, literally none of it. Spinner's hoop. Spinner's circlet, maybe? Thank you. One of you. I guess the other one's probably fine. Or one. Okay. 600 plus at the very least is probably where I think I will leave it for today. Still got a few characters to go to get them some gear, but at least it means that 600 plus item level we'll be able to stroll into midnight and at least hit things without any gaping holes in our gear on these tunes. I don't know just what the landscape is going to look like for getting these up to 90 once midnight goes live. Nor do I know if there's going to be any reason to. Who knows? There might not really be any reason to. This expansion, for example, concentration alts have done quite nicely even at level 70. So if there's some equivalent, having all of these dudes at level 80 might in theory be enough. But I would at least like them to be able to go out and, I don't know, if they need to go fly out and pick up some dirt and kill a few mobs en route, then they won't get absolutely their ass handed to them in the process. So that's the theory with this, getting them some basic gear. We killed Dementius on Heroic last night. We had to bench a few people, but then 3 tries in, we had him down. Those people were pissed, but they'll be able to join next time, but they declined. Wouldn't surprise me if they leave the guild. I mean, no loss then. Like, if people get pissy over stuff like that, it's literally no loss. No loss to anybody. Let them go. Genuinely. Like, I know everybody wants to play the game, but, like, you know, just... You know, in organised group content, the last thing you need is babies. Just sack them off. Get the job done. Get the job done. Once people have got a couple of kills under their belt, then, you know, most guilds operate some sort of farm raid system after the main kill. So, like, if people aren't happy with that, then that's their issue. Right. Anyway, boys and girls, leaving the stream on that positive note, I will go get the dogs some food, get me some food, take the 4-legged friends out for a bit of a walk, and enjoy the rest of my day. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow. The likelihood is we'll be trying to probably finish off Brewfest stuff tomorrow. There's the possibility that if I, at the very least, farm up some Brewfest tokens tomorrow, we'll have the ability to buy everything tomorrow as well. And then that'll be Brewfest done, which will be nice. It'll be Friday tomorrow. That will also mean that Alpha will start next week, and it all starts to get very serious from here on out. So this is the last week of just sort of semi-chilling. We're just kind of keeping things ticking over, tinkering with a few bits and pieces here and there. So, yeah, come say hi over on the Discord if you're not there already. Thank you very much, Jack, for sharing the socials there. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for stopping by, boys and girls. I'll see you all next time. Peace.